number 2 about wholesaling. As I said before, we'll be taking the whole week to pretty much talk about wholesaling. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I'm just kind of still sharing this video on a couple of Facebook groups because I've had a few requests to actually add my video on there as I went live from a few people that I just friended a couple of days ago. So what I've learned, I've learned a couple of things about wholesaling. As I told you guys, I have not exactly started wholesaling myself. However, it is something that I am learning right now. I'm in the process of learning, and the reason why I'm kind of taking a whole week away from private labeling and talk about wholesaling is because I've actually had quite a few people from my followers and my students who are interested in wholesaling, and they told me to pretty much go into it and talk about it because it is something they are interested in. They kind of want to get my 2 cents about the subject. So that's exactly what I'm doing right here, guys. I'm talking about it. So yesterday was just pretty much a brief description about what wholesaling is, how you can start it, what are some very basic requirements that you need to actually start this business. And in today's video, we'll be kind of more breaking it down a little bit further into kind of more like what exactly is necessary, how exactly to locate suppliers, and how to go about that, and also how to locate different products that you can wholesale. So be sure that you guys stick around with me here until the end, as I'll be showing you guys and talking about a few ways and a few methods on how you guys can do that. So a couple of things that I've also learned is that as I explained yesterday, it is very important that you guys look like a professional business. And a couple of things to actually do that is make sure that you guys have a business website. Make sure that you guys have a business email address, and also a business address. So not just an email address or a website, but also you guys need to have a business address. Some wholesalers wouldn't even touch you. They wouldn't even talk to you unless you were an actual like a professional seller, or a professional business, right? And that's the thing that kind of a lot of people don't understand, and that they need to actually get in their brain that it won't these wholesalers, they just won't deal with you just because you're an Amazon seller. Just being a seller on Amazon just won't cut it for you. You actually need to look like you are an actual business. And a lot of because here's the thing: it's not like private labeling where you can actually just order the product from your Chinese supplier, have them packaged, and just send it over to Amazon for FBA. You actually need to ship the products over to your location. That way you could actually prep it, get it all taken care of, and then send it back to FBA. So there is some prepping that needs to be done, and a lot of suppliers won't even deal with you, or they won't even ship to you to your house if you're just putting a home address. A lot of those suppliers, you guys need to understand, are U.S. suppliers. They are U.S. based companies, or in Canada or Mexico or whatever. So they're not Chinese suppliers. They're not they're not gonna just not care because you're because you're actually just kind of doing this on the fly and you're doing it. You are gonna have to look like an actual legitimate business before you're able to start wholesaling. Now, one thing that I missed in yesterday's video and yesterday's introduction, really what wholesaling was, and I don't know how I even missed that, important point. But exactly what wholesaling is, it's pretty much like private labeling and arbitrage kind of put together, smashed together. So what wholesaling is, you're pretty much looking for big brands, big branded products, like we're not going to go as big as Nike, but products that are already selling well, that already do well, and it's just like arbitrage. You look for branded products, and all you're doing is you're adding yourself as another, list or another seller on that existing listing. Okay. The cool thing about it, the good thing about wholesaling and arbitrage is that you actually are, you're not creating a new listing. You don't have to optimize it. You don't have to be an SEO freak, or you don't need to know about back-end keywords and things like that. You're not creating a new, not you. It's the actual manufacturer of the product. All you're doing is you're just getting permission from the actual supplier, the actual manufacturer of the product, for you to even to resell their products on Amazon. And that's what a lot of big brands will do. They don't have to go through the hassle. And then, you know, this is kind of a question that some people will ask and say, well, why are, you know, wholesalers, or why are the suppliers and manufacturers allowing us to sell while they could actually, you know, do it themselves? Well, because here's the thing. They worked on creating the listing. They worked on driving traffic into it. And now they're giving all the hard legwork to you to do. You know what I mean? So to them, it's like, well, instead of me going there and managing products and having to fulfill and all that, we'll just sell in bulk. So we'll get like 10 sellers. We'll sell 100 units to each. That's 1,000 units. And they can go worry about customer service and all that stuff. All we're going to do is we're just going to create a product on Amazon and just let, you know, everybody else handle it and deal with it. So that's kind of their mentality. It's like Amazon. It's the same mentality as Amazon. Some people will say, well, why can't Amazon just kick us all out and take over our products and then start selling? Why are they allowing us to sell? Because Amazon has built a platform. They've built this amazing platform, and they're letting us individual sellers to worry about the legwork, and then they just collect their percentage and their commission. So we have a question here on Facebook from Salah. He says, hi, this is special question. Chinese suppliers say flying fidget spinners will be trend for 2018, and only there is one seller on Amazon. What is your think? That's flying fidget spinners. I don't know. That's very interesting. Maybe it's something that we should look into. Honestly, I have no idea. I've never even I don't know how even that would work. Flying fidget spinner. That's very interesting. Look, man, a lot of times I approach Chinese suppliers and they tell me, oh, this is a high item. You should jump on it. We've been selling it a lot and stuff like that. Although I contacted them to get a different item. Sometimes they'll have a lot of inventory of a specific product that they manufactured and just kind of did not go anywhere. They're just trying to get rid of it. Or maybe they are true. I don't know. Maybe keep an eye out for, I guess, flying fidget spinners for 2018 will be a thing. I don't know what that even means. I don't know how that's possible. I'll look into it if there is, you know, if there is a, if there is such item that even exists. That would be very interesting. Actually, I should look into that. So aside from that, guys, going back to what wholesaling is. So as I was saying earlier, you know, it's pretty much finding a supplier, finding a manufacturer who already has their product on Amazon, and pretty much getting permission from them to resell their products or become just another, you know, another seller on Amazon, right? So I don't know if a lot of you guys have done arbitrage, but a lot of times you'll scan something and then you'll go and it says, it'll say like something like restricted product. Yeah, you'll go on the listing and there's like 10 sellers selling it, and you're just kind of frustrated, like, why can't I sell it? Because you need to actually go to the manufacturer and get permission from them in order for you to even sell that product on Amazon. Once you get a permission, then you submit to Amazon and say, hey, I've gotten permission. Here's the letter, whatever. And then you go about that. Now, finding, you know, finding actual suppliers, it's not as easy or it's not as hard. It's pretty much you scout out, you know, Amazon's inventory. You go on Amazon, you go on categories. You can use Jungle Scouts to help you, but typically you just go on Amazon and then you look at, you know, hot trendy items that are selling well. You look at the BSR. That's where you actually look at the BSR. So with arbitrage, with wholesaling, you actually look at the BSR. With arbitrage, I would say below 70,000, but really, if you want something that's hot that really sells a lot, you want something below, you know, a couple of thousand, you know, even below 10,000, below 5,000 within that specific, you know, category. So like 500 and home and kitchen, or 200 in toys or something like that. You know, that's a very hot item. And all you do is you just look at the wholesaler or whoever the manufacturing company is. You find them on Google and you contact the company. Now, before you do that, you need to be legitimate, right? You need to look legitimate. So as I was saying yesterday, 4 main things you need to do before you even try to contact suppliers. First, you need to get incorporated. So you need to have an actual company, you know, a corporation, an S Corp, C Corp, LLC, something. You need to have a legitimate email address. So a company email address. So mine would be like, so let's say if my wholesaling company is wholesaling US, it would be Bashar at wholesalingus.com. It wouldn't be, bashar.wholesaling@gmail.com. It would be Bashar at wholesaling us.com. That way you look more professional, you look more legit. Number three thing, you need to have a website. Your website needs to actually say and convey that you are the owner, you are the actual company. You're a rep for the company, whether if you are the CEO, the sales representative, the whatever you are, it doesn't matter your title. But as long as your email corresponds with your actual website, with your company name, all those need to correspond together. And then, last but not least, you need to have an actual business address. A lot of those, now here's the thing, some of them will ship to your house, but a lot of them will not. Because once again, they don't want to, there are tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Amazon sellers out there. They don't want just anybody to be carrying their product. They want somebody that's legitimate, somebody that's professional, somebody that knows what they're doing to actually go ahead and carry their product and sell their product, because they're putting their name there. When you're gonna, resell somebody else's product, you're representing them in front of everybody else. So they want to make sure that they are being represented well. They're not being misrepresented by some, unprofessional dude or somebody, running, but you just kind of want to make it look like you're professional. At least you know how to handle your business. You know what I mean? So those are kind of the most important points when it comes to wholesaling. These are the most important things that you really need to understand and you really need to know before even thinking about wholesaling. You also need to understand that you need to buy a lot of units. It's not like private labeling. You actually need to have some capital, and that's the thing that people understand. There's also another thing. So let's say you go and buy the product at, let's say, $5 a pop, and you're like, okay, well, it sells for $12.99. Amazon's going to charge me $3. I have $3.50 to profit. Now, you are competing against 10 other sellers under that same listing. All of a sudden, those sellers can start dropping the price drastically, and all of a sudden you are cutting very small, cutting very short on your profit margin, and you might even be losing money. So that's one thing you really need to understand, and you really need to know before going into it. You might lose money, you might break even, you might make very little profit, so it is a risk in any business, anything. It doesn't matter what it is. There's always a risk. You need to understand that. You really need to know that there is a risk in anything and everything that you do. Whatever, no matter what it is, you're always taking a risk. So that's kind of, another concept that you can do. Now, I know that, as I told you, I'm not a wholesaler myself. I have been getting a lot of requests to talk about wholesaling, to cover wholesaling, to, kind of, show exactly what wholesaling means, how it works, how you can get suppliers, how you can pretty much do your research and stuff like that. And that's exactly what I am doing right now. I decided and I promised last week that I'll take this whole week to talk about wholesaling, to make sure that I cover every single thing that I know. And in the past couple of weeks, I have been actually researching. I reached out to a couple of my friends who run 7- and 8-figure companies on Amazon doing strictly wholesaling, nothing else. You do understand, with wholesaling, your numbers are going to be a lot bigger than private labeling or arbitrage, even then, especially private labeling. But the profit margins are going to be very small, okay? We're talking about as low as 5%, 10%, 15, 20 if you're lucky, okay? With private labeling, we're running 30, 40, 50% margins. When I teach, I say that you need to focus on 50% margins. Now, my margins are between 43 and 47. They kind of fluctuate. They go back, up and down. But this is kind of where I'm at, With wholesaling, I'm probably going to be making half, if not less. So if I do 100,000 in wholesaling, it's like doing 50,000 in private labeling, if not even less. I might even be doing it's more like, 40,000 or 35,000 in private labeling. You know what I mean? It's equivalent to like 100,000 in wholesaling. So that's kind of a few things that I really wanted to cover here. Also, guys, be sure, as I told you, I post a video about the same concept that I actually go live and talk about. So I'll be posting a video here very soon, in probably the next hour or so. Be sure to check it out. I'll actually be going into, my kind of the screen and kind of scouting out a few products and how to contact them and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted to put some brief description about what wholesaling is, what Amazon selling is. I know that I've shared this video on a couple Facebook groups, so it might be their first time even hearing about what Amazon FBA is or whatnot. So be sure that you guys watch this video. Probably skip until like minute 4 because there was a big gap there until I actually started talking. But aside from that, guys, Bashar to Amazon FBA seller mentor. If you guys have any questions about mentorship, if you guys have any questions about private labeling, go ahead and contact me, DM me, PM me, whatever. I'll be more 2 years ago being broke and debt and pretty much not really having anything going on for me. So guys, once again, Bashar to your Amazon FBA seller mentor. Thank you very much for being part of this amazing channel. I'll see you all next video. You all have a great day and peace out.